he also said that he's admitted to having 9 disciplinary for sexual exposure, and he's adamant that him and another guy will go on. He details this stuff of going like on a military mission, like you know.
Yeah.
I would take the right flank, he would take the left flank, and we would go on missions to gun these people. And I'm like, gunning in what aspect? And it's like more of a sexual deviant type of stuff. I don't get the type of stuff where you can get off when another man's watching you.
I don't. They do that, and then of course the big thing was they gun them female officers. And he was one of them that would do that all the time.
In the state of Alabama, there's no process like maybe after you catch 1 or 2 cases like that, they don't classify you like a threat to society.
Well, you can only hold them as long as the court says hold them, but that parole board damn sure ain't got to parole them.
Okay.
And but that EOS date comes, ain't nothing you can do. Let them go.
You gotta let them go.
But I seen a bunch of them walk out of there. I said to myself, man, I hate to let this guy go.
Yeah, and the thing that if you go on YouTube or news, any kind of news platform broadcast, you see these type of guys. These are the same type of guys that be running up to random females, ejaculating on them, and running
Exactly. And that's sick. That's just sick. I mean, I just can't relate to that.
I sure can't either, sir. I
It's
like the
the,
privacy.
well,
I like my own privacy. You know what
you know,
I mean?
me personally, I love women.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I think it's like, God made two different sexes for a reason to
Yeah,
procreate. But, if you're going to fall in love and have sex, do it with a woman. If you're a man,
exactly, sir. That's what these people don't understand. What I mean, people is the whole society is like. Imagine if we were all attracted to the same sex, we would be extinct as a society.
we wouldn't be here, would we?
No, we wouldn't. That's what I don't understand. And I'm kind of confused. I'm like, man, it's like we're going backwards now. They're promoting all this type of stuff. What he's doing, it seems like it's okay in today's world, but we need to go back to where Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve.
Exactly. And that's when I've wondered. I used to wonder, man, one of these days that sky's going to open up and God's just going to strike us all down, all this crazy crap going on down here.
Exactly, sir.
It's just don't make sense to me, brother. It
It
don't
don't.
make sense to me.
It don't, sir. And you're a lot older and wiser, and and I respect my elders, and I'm like, man, if you can't make no sense of it, and I can't make no sense of it, then we're kind of screwed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're exactly right, Noel. You're exactly right.
It is. I'm like, we're looking for guidance from our elders, and like, man, if you can't give us an explanation, man, it's
I
kind
can't give you no explanation for that. I just
of
can't do it.
it is. It's kind of
Back in my day when I was young, man, if you was branded, they didn't call it homosexuals back then. They called it you was a queer.
yes, and that's and if you were and if you were to say that word right now on national TV, you'd be banned. You'd be
That's
shouted.
it. That's it. Be chastised. Be something terrible. But
Yeah,
all this transgender stuff and all this crap, that's a bunch of dadgum crap in my book.
exactly, sir. You
You
know,
know, you just can't have a society that runs rampant with this kind of stuff in it.
exactly, sir.
It just won't. It just don't work. It don't work. And that's what's happening now. That's why you got a lot of breakdowns in society now. It's all this immoral stuff going on. I mean, man, I ain't no angel. Don't get me wrong, and I'm a God fearing man, but I ain't perfect. But that gone. I don't know how anybody condones this stuff. But when you're in the penitentiary now, it's a different world, and it's a world in itself about when it comes to homosexuality and stuff like that. It's but it breeds so much other stuff. All the other things tie into it. You know, the the bar and the ceiling.
Hey, Warden
So,
Wise, you ever
We got some guy. Sorry about that, Warden Wise.
no, that's all right.
But we got some guy saying his name is Blue Blanco. So I clicked on it. Maybe he was going to give some kind of insight, but it's just some ignorant dude, sir. You know, I apologize.
Oh, no problem. No problem. I understand. I understand about ignorance. Believe me.
Yeah, because you know they, you know, if they would have put the real name up on the front, I would have, you know, June 5th, I would have said, hey man, I'll put you on the panel, but don't
Yeah.
come around here and saying you're Blue Blanco, like, man, you know, I'm not Blue Blanco. Hey, you know, let's get back to the story, Warden Wise. You know, I don't
All
want
right. You the man. Go ahead.
you the man, Warden. I appreciate, you know, Warden Wise, man. You know, you young blood, man. I'm so in depth with y'all. Y'all have so much knowledge, man. It's like I'm like a sponge.
Yeah, I get to talk about all this stuff, and I miss it. I miss the penitentiary sometimes. I wish I was back in there sometimes. I really do.
yeah, I can tell, sir. I can tell. It's
Old
almost
men
like,
like me, they get to reminiscing. I get to reminiscing and stuff, and I kind of miss the penitentiary. I love my job. I really did.
yeah, it's that's what people don't understand, that the people that work there, they're almost doing as much time as the person that's in there doing incarcerated. They,
Yeah, I did 28 hard years.
yeah. So you're a convict. That's
I'm a
what people.
convict man. That's what they used to call me. I was a convict warden, and they ain't no convict.
No doubt.
They gone now. They ain't no convict wardens. You know, you had them old convict wardens, Steve Dees, Charlie Jones, even old crazy J.D. White to an extent. Y'all probably don't
JD
know.
White.
You remember them names, Young Blood?
Yeah, I remember JD White.
You remember old Steve Dees?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a warden there. He's the one that taught me a lot of stuff. Old J.C. Giles.
JC Giles, Warren Giles, yep.
Giles, he's one of the best there ever was.
The only one back in the day that I didn't really care too much for was he was at Holman.
Old Charlie Jones.
No, man,
Black or
what
white?
was his name? Black. He be on lockup a lot.
Color.
They run him off.
Yeah, color. That color. Hell, he's the one that run me out.
Yeah, one Culliver, man, Lord, he wasn't there but a trip, man.
That son of a bitch was.
Talk
I
a
just
good
for lack of a
game,
better
but he was
word,
out there.
he was sorry,
Yes, sir, he was, man. One Culliver.
and he was.
They run his ass off, didn't
Yeah. Oh, he got in trouble for sexual harassment and all that.
they?
He
Yeah.
wound up, but he was down there. He was a commission. He was a deputy commissioner in the
Yeah,
regional.
he had
My
got beat
boss.
up commissioner. So did.
When I was at St. Clair, he was my boss, and that's one reason I left. Was 'cause
Yeah.
he was gonna send me he was gonna send me down to Holman. And I said, no, I ain't going all the way down to Atmore. Screw it. I had a sick daddy up here at the time. And I said, no, I
Yeah.
ain't going to Holman. You know, but it broke my heart because I planned on working probably till I was about the age I am now. But
Yeah.
maybe a little younger. But I mean, he run me off about 10 years before I was ready to go.
Yeah.
Because I'd have done another 10 if they'd left me alone.
Yeah, well, yeah, we just don't have ones like that. You see, you got to love your job to do a good job, you know?
Well, you got to love your job, and you got to love your fellow man. I mean, just because he's
Yeah,
a convict, don't mean he's a terrible person. He might have made a
that's
terrible mistake. He might have done something wrong. Just like you, a good dude, young blood. You did time. Yeah,
right.
but
And,
you're a good person. You're a good man. You
and
don't.
see, and that's the thing, convicts, a convict man, if you're doing your time, you want to do the best time. You want to keep the shit together. You don't want to live in there in no filth, nasty ass dorms or people turning folks out. You got to speak out against this old man because the bottom line is going to reflect on us. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And when you ain't got all that crap going on, I mean, you ain't never gonna stop the gambling and all that
You
stuff.
gonna have fun.
It's gonna happen, but when you got it going out open and people not even scared of getting caught or whatever, there's something wrong. Because
Yeah,
if you're on my side, if you was on my side of the fence, those inmates got to have a little bit of fear of what you can do to them. Not necessarily. I'm not talking about whooping their ass or nothing. I'm just talking about fear of what you can do to their future. Or you want to
yeah.
get out of
See,
penitentiary? You want to get out of the penitentiary? You want to listen to me? You want to go down here and get in this drug program and get yourself some accolades so you can have something to present to the parole board? Work with me, and I'll work with you. But you,
exactly. And see, that's what Noel put out on his podcast about turned out. Trying to at least give some type of knowledge to the youth that going in what they going what they gonna expect to see. Because the shit's still going on. You still have people like Lamar Moore inside them walls or behind them fences.
got more Mark Morris today. I don't know how long you been out now.
I've been out 11 years now, what?
And see, when you and me was there, it was a little different. It wasn't as bad as it is now. I sit there and I talk to some of these convicts from the cell blocks. I talk to officers, and it's just complete. It's just got to be complete chaos. It's gotten a little bit here lately under Commissioner Ham, but that young commissioner they had before here, he was just a politician. He didn't know nothing about corrections. Then he had Culliver down there. He was taking care of putting all of his girlfriends in those warden spots.
Yeah.
And now you got a bunch of wardens that don't ever leave their office and go walk around and see what's going on. And they ain't got enough to run the place with to begin with. And they don't know how to pick out inmate talent because, that's what makes the penitentiary run. You got to have good cooks. You got to have good maintenance people. And you get that from your convicts. You don't get it from
Exactly.
free world people. They're just going to sit back and let the convicts do it. But you got to have somebody that knows how to put those people out and to make them and appreciate them and give them a little extra doing that good work for you.
Yeah, now, Limestone has a total of like 175 officers. Now, Limestone is one of the biggest prisons in Alabama. So I think it is the biggest prison. So how in the world 175 total officers going to control all them inmates? And now Limestone got life without parole. People ain't going nowhere.
You got all the Donaldson, St. Clair convicts. They've flooded it up there. Got the whole one side of Limestone ain't nothing but a lockup. And then they're not running that right because they ain't got the people to run it right. And
I think that's a side.
I don't even think they got 175 officers, young blood. I don't even think they got that.
Yeah. The last I looked at it, the last I researched it had about 175, and they might not have that. And this going to include all both shifts.
But you got to think about this. You got 3 shifts, or I don't know. They had 2 shifts. I don't know if they went back to 8 hours or not. They was doing them 12-hour shifts. But anyway, you got either 2 12-hour shifts or 3 8-hour shifts, and then you got to take into effect out of that 175. Probably a fourth of those or more are part-timers, old retired people. And when they say 175, a lot of those officers got jobs outside the fence. They're not in there. They're not in there on the ground where they need to be.
So we won't have 175 then, because we got a lot of them that have retired and coming back.
You need at least, when I was at Limestone, the bare minimum, I needed 35 officers at the penitentiary on any given day. Now, I got to take into effect vacation days, sick days, military leave days, because you got a lot of people left on the military when all that Iraq stuff started in the early 2000s, Middle East. So they're gone, but they still got them on their sheet, but they're not even here. They're over there in some foreign country for the Army, So it's kind of a misnomer when they say 175 officers. That's somebody putting it on paper trying to make them look better than what they are. But I've heard times where they'd have 15 officers on duty at Limestone with what, over 2,000 convicts, and
Yeah,
then without parole.
like about 2,200 or something like that.
And so you can't run a penitentiary with 15 officers. You
No.
can't. A place like Limestone, if you and the only thing that makes it worse, you remember what's that officer's name? They called him Shipwreck.
Yeah, I know Shipwreck. Yeah.
But you had some officers like him that get down, they love their job and they'll do their job and they know convicts and they know how to get out there and keep things going. Of course, old Shipwreck been around about 30 years now, but
Yeah,
you got a few like him that keep the place going, but they can't do it by themselves.
no, ain't no way, man. Ain't no
You
way.
know, if I didn't have at least 30 to 35 officers on any given shift, I'd be ready to shut the damn place down, man. They need to go get some National Guard folks or something.
Hmm. And that's why it's so much. It's so much. Man, you talking about the drugs in there now? It just, and like I say, when I was there, we gonna have the drug. Yeah, that fentanyl. I mean, it's literally taking the convicts out. And what's so bad about it? You know, I was in there for a violent case, of course, but still, you can't put a man with a lower custody, like 3 or 4 years inside of a prison wall with people that's got 30, 40, 50 life sentences. It just ain't gonna work.
That was one of my big arguments. I said, why all these penitentiaries we got, why can't we designate one of these penitentiaries for these, like they used to years ago at Draper? If you went to Draper, you was young, first time offender.
First time offender, yeah.
Unless you had a real violent case, but otherwise you went there. And then let's focus, most of them had shorter sentences. So let's focus on correcting them, helping them, straightening them out so they go out there on the street. Because you know as well as I do, 90% of them people going back to the street. You know, if they ain't got life without parole, they go sometime.
They going back. Either they gonna EOS their sentence or they gonna make parole on.
And then why do I want to take a man that's just mad at the world, been in there getting turned out and everything else, and turn him loose in the street, give him a damn bus ticket, and say, there you go. And then he gets out there in the world, he can't get a good job, and you can't live. You know, nowadays, hell, if you're making $20 an hour, you're poor as hell. You can't survive.
Ain't no doubt.
And I'm sure Noel knows that part of living with those children he's got. It takes money.
Oh man, if you got a kid nowadays and trying to, my kid's grown and just me and my wife going to the grocery store and trying to take care of the dogs and the cattle we have, it takes almost all we got.
Man,
so imagine imagine having kids. Oh man, ain't no way.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I get a pretty decent retirement. Of course, it ain't went up in 15 years. I get the same money I was getting 15 years ago. Then you got the Social Security kick in. It takes every dime I got, and my child's grown and gone. But it takes every dime I got to take care of my 3 little old dogs and my wife. Every dime I got. And if I hadn't saved it, I wouldn't even be able to afford to go out here and buy these cars and stuff I got.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And when I left the penitentiary, I was making $102,000 a year. And nowadays, $102,000 a year just gets you by.
Ain't no doubt.
Yeah. It's unreal.
But
I'm gonna say I want to compliment y'all because this is a good thing you're doing, talking about this stuff, and hopefully it'll get somebody's attention and keep focusing more on it. But this turning these people out that I know it's what you focuses on your program, turning these people out like this. If they're not willing, and I don't even agree when they're willing, but if they're not willing, this is wrong. This is just dead wrong, and the state needs to do something.
Exactly, sir.
Yeah, cause I don't know, do you remember him not, but that guy Jonathan Schwartz, he come on and he said that majority of these victims that was turned out, they have like lifelong illnesses,
Oh yeah. Oh,
and we know what them lifelong illnesses can be. Limestone particularly house all AIDS patients.
exactly.
And
Most
you
definitely.
had them, you had them sneaking around with with the guys that was in the AIDS ward, the HIV unit.
I caught a dude over there one time. I'm not lying to you, young blood. I caught a dude over there screwing one outside, but the fence in between them, sticking his thing through the
Yes,
fence.
yes, I remember that because that's when they put up the double fence
I like
to
to
keep
knock
that
that
from
boy.
going
I
on.
like to knock that boy's dick off with my stick.
Yeah, and you know what? He's still in there.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Then
Yeah,
I had an officer. I had a correctional officer, a 50-something or 40-something-year-old man with children at home down there giving one of them a blowjob, knowing he's got
yeah,
HIV. Knowing he's got
yeah.
HIV. An officer.
Syphilis.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't get it. But that dorm was so funny, young blood. It was funny. You walk in that dorm, that HIV dorm, I'd walk off in there. And they had it better than anybody in the penitentiary. Hell, they even had air conditioning.
I know they did.
They took it to court, got air conditioning. And but you'd walk in that dorm, it was like walking in a dorm full of women. It was just like walking in a college dormitory where there's a bunch of women.
Damn.
It was unbelievable.
Mm.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what. Now, before they come up with all these drugs and all that treatment, man. I mean, we used to go. Well, they would die on us quick. I mean, we was there.
Yes,
We was having 4 or 5 a week die.
yes. At Limestone, I remember when they was running them guys from 16 dorms coming to the infirmary. It was like every other day,
Oh yeah.
every other day, because they'll lock the camp down
Oh yeah.
before they had segregated them,
Mm-hmm.
and it was wild. What
And I
up,
think,
God soul?
and I think that it was a good thing to segregate them personally
Yeah.
because you nowadays, of course, yeah, they got them medicines and stuff. Now that medicine ain't cheap, and
No, and and thing about the warden, you got guys now that have it. I mean, they look like this is healthy than a regular person. You know what I mean?
oh yeah.
Because before they got their medication in, they was dying every other day at Limestone.
You
I'm
be,
talking about it. It was called lockdown every other day.
and I can't understand how stupid these people are now because you sit back nowadays, they're all mixing there together. But back in the day, uh, half of those inmates had some form of hepatitis. Of course, they got cures for that now.
Yes,
That hepatitis C
yes,
was rampant. And then and why in the hell would you have sex in there knowing that all this stuff is in HIV, hepatitis C?
exactly.
You got
Yeah,
about
they had
you got a 50-50 shot of catching it. There were
yeah
so many.
they had an outbreak one. They had an outbreak one time at St. Clair with syphilis. And
Yeah.
man, I didn't know how you can get syphilis, right? So I'm like, man, how in the hell you gonna get that? And one of the nurses told me how you get it. So she said, well, you ought to be good. I said, okay, because it scared the shit out of me. I'm like, syphilis? And man, they brought a like a roster out and had all the guys that was on it. And
Yeah.
some of those guys that were on that list, I couldn't believe. I'm like, what?
Oh yeah.
Man, I'm talking
That's
about
it.
it was guys that I didn't even imagine would have did no shit like that. It was just flabbergasting.
Yeah. And the bad thing about syphilis is, young blood, you can't. You don't even know it didn't have that many symptoms to it. You may not even know you got it. And then
Yeah,
when it does progress, you fucking go insane. You
yeah.
blind. You stop your organs from
hmm
working. It's a terrible disease.
hmm
If it's caught early, they can get rid of it. but it's a
Yeah.
terrible.
It's almost
Damn.
like a rabid raccoon.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's what happened to that gangster Al Capone. He had syphilis from all the whores he was,
Yeah. Yeah. I watched that about Al Capone.
and he went insane and died at 47.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
that's what took him out.
Yeah, he was crazy. They said he done lost his mind. I tell you what, though, the penitentiary is something else. Anything you want to find, you'll find it in the penitentiary. But like I said many years ago in that interview, you know, it's a society within a society. And in
That's it.
the penitentiary mirrors the outside society. It's just a lot more of it in there.
Yeah, it's
That's
enclosed.
it.
There's nowhere to go. So everything it's like a glass door. You know, everything's going to be able to see through it.
Exactly.
There's no hiding. You know, but my thing is that a lot of these guys that are locked up, they come out talking about, you know, I was knocking out this, knocking out that, but they're not coming out that they were having relationships with man.
Man, if I was a
That's
female
it.
and the man come out been in the penitentiary unless I really knew him, I wouldn't be messing with no guy in the penitentiary I didn't know really good. If I was a
That's
female
it.
on the street.
It's called that down low syndrome they got.
Isn't it?
What's done in the penitentiary stays in the penitentiary. Like saying
Oh yeah.
what goes in Vegas stays in Vegas. No, damn that man.
Yeah. But you know, a lot of people are more educated about the penitentiary now. But the trouble is, society just don't give a damn. The people that go to the
No.
penitentiary are throwaways. They're throwaways in our society, and it's sad.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of people in there, and like I said, a lot of them are going to get out. Why do you not want to turn them out decent? Why do you want to turn out a monster?
No, would they
That's
released the monster? They released the monster of Lamarck Moore.
Oh yeah, I guarantee you. Like I said, you'll see this guy will either be dead or he'll be back in there.
Yes, because I mean, he proudly talks about having 9 exposure cases. That's like being proud of being exposed 9 times in society. Like nine cases where somebody wrote you up and gave you a case for self-exposure. That's nothing to be proud of, man. You know, that's sexual
No,
deviation.
it's just like we said earlier, it's sick. And what sane person's gonna get off on masturbating out here in public and looking at somebody? I mean, what sane person does that?
Yeah, you know, and
That's a mental illness.
mental illness. And the sad part about it that I don't know. Charles Allen Hip said that, you know, they can be looking at a mop head for all they know.
Yeah, yeah, it's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, it's kind of sickening. And you know, and the thing is, you got this guy right here.
Boy gets on the shit jacket. You know what I'm saying?
You know, let me rewind a little bit more. Because it's not only the sexual deviancy, but this guy said that after him and that other guy went back at it like jackrabbits, the guy had to go defecate. And after him going defecating, you know, anybody else would have been like, hey man, that's kind of sickening, turned off. This got aroused by it.
That's what gets me when he talks about it made his dick hard. Ah, damn.
Man, damn.
It's just sickening, and anybody that goes along with him and promotes him and tries to bring him to the audience and the masses, just as guilty as him doing it.
Oh yeah, it's he's just a dangerous character.
Yes, you're right about that,
Slow
sir.
down, chill out, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't.
And when you promote that foolishness, you just as worse as that victim.
Oh yeah, and you know that's what used to get me about some of the people that work there. I'd sit there, they'd be talking that shit, and I'd say, man, you just as sick as they are if you out here like
Yeah, man.
you condoning it.
Going along with it.
Yeah, and that used to burn me up.
there's a lot of these guys on YouTube, and they're promoting this sexual deviancy, and
Okay.
they were like, their opinion on the matter is as long as you were the giver, which is
Oh,
basically the
yeah,
pitcher,
the
you're
pitcher, the catcher.
yeah, you're not considered. It's normal, in this society of Alabama Department of Corrections. As long as you're the pitcher, hey,
You ain't a homosexual. That's the way they thought. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm not a
Mhm.
homosexual. I'm the pitcher. You know,
What
Exactly.
the only homosexual is the catcher. The pitcher ain't a homosexual. That's the way they think in the penitentiary. That's the way they did think.
and what's your take on
Hey,
that,
but
Ward?
but
It,
what?
that's considered bite out here, right? I mean, I don't. I could care less about the next man's sexuality. You're bi, lesbian, or whatever you want to call yourself.
That's fine. Go do it in your own bedroom in your own house.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
what would Reva say about the catcher? They'll pitch the pitcher or catch too.
Reva did both, but
Yeah, I'm saying, what would she tell you about one that's pitching? Would the same pitcher catch as well?
oh yeah, yeah. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. You say it.
It's
She
So
just
say
the
it.
one, so the ones saying that they doing all the pitching, they catching also.
A lot of them are. They try to
Yeah,
present themselves. I know what you're saying. They try to present themselves. Oh, I'm only the pitcher, but they lying out their ass because their mouth knows better.
that's
oh,
right.
you're right about that, sir. Because look, I'm about to put this other clip right here. This guy, he tries to act like he's full of mescanet, like he's a alpha male, but in reality, he's attracted to other alpha males.
In reality, in my book, he's a queer.
Yes, yes, he is, sir. I would agree. There's nothing. It is what it is.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys, and the thing that gets me is there's a lot of these guys out here promoting these guys.
Oh,
They-
and they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be promoting it because they just shouldn't be promoting.
no, these guys should be put in the closet,
Basically
locked
just
up,
straight gun.
put back in there.
Let's go.
I used to tell them, I said, what we need to do is take all these sissies and do like I said we should do with those younger offenders. Put all of them in one penitentiary.
Hmm.
Exactly.
See what that does to your system.
Same time, you never just.
I agree with that.
Hey, well, gentlemen, I've got to go in here and take care of something. But I have thoroughly enjoyed talking with y'all tonight, and I hope to do it again. And maybe I'll be a little more up the next time. I kind of
Thank you so much, Warden, man. You might not think you've been helpful, man. You've been very helpful, Warden Wise, with your knowledge and your expertise and your insights, man. It's
I'm
very
really-
valuable.
I'm real proud of what y'all doing, though, and I certainly support it.
Thank you so much, Warden. I mean, because as we speak, somebody's being victimized.
You're exactly right, brother. You're exactly right. Somebody
And it's,
break right now at probably half the prisons in the state.
It's sad, and as far as we as civilians, all we can do is bring awareness and attention to the subject.
That's all we can do right now, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Thank
man,
you so much.
I love your podcast and hang in there.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, boy.
Stay
So
in touch.
appreciate you, bro.
Stay in touch,
You
young
know I
blood.
will.
All right,
I
brother.
will.
Y'all be
Yes,
good.
sir.
man.
You, sir. You
All
have a
right.
good
Bye
night.
bye.
All right, bye.
Bye bye. Hey.
What up,
heard-
Noel?